What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Professionally Profane Podcast. I am Dave Ridderhoff. I am joined, as always, by my good friend, PCVIV, Phil Charles VanDerHeyden the Fourth, Mr. PCV, Pimp Daddy P. How are we doing on this beautiful mid-May day?
I'm doing great. Even though our jabronis of the week, maybe they are doing great, but they shouldn't. They should feel very bad about themselves. However, I'm doing fantastic, my friend. It is an honor to be here with you on this special episode where it's just you and me talking ball, baby.
Yeah, we don't get to do this very often. We have so many wonderful guests on this show, as we're always striving to bring the very best content in Chicago sports. And you could find us pretty much anywhere. Mr. Phil, before I jump into our channel socials, where can the people find you to see all your great content, sir?
You can find me at JAYC Phil, or you can find me at JAY_Shy_Bulls. Also, keep an eye out on that channel because we're going to be doing a Kobe White jersey giveaway very soon. And keep an eye out on our channel because we will be doing a giveaway very soon.
Ooh,
But yeah,
okay.
bounce it right back to you, my friend.
Oh my goodness. Well, you can find me at Davy.17. You could also find all of our socials. We are on Twitter, Profane Pod. You could search us on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you're already here. If you're listening on Spotify, you got to go to YouTube. You can see our smiling faces. Phil, give a quick smile for the camera if you don't mind. See? If you're on Spotify, you just missed those beautiful smiles. Now, if you are on YouTube and you're like, oh my God, I gotta get away from those, then you can just go to Spotify. You can give us a follow over there. We are also on Facebook, Professionally Profane Podcast. You can find us anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts, as long as it's one of those two channels. If it's not those two, then you should pick one of those two.
Yeah,
but
get your shit together.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for saying what I was thinking in my head and didn't have the balls to say, Mr. Phil. We want to start off this week very special because, man, something happened in the world of sports this week that we absolutely will not fucking stand for, right? You can try to play us as fools, but we will not sit by idly and let it happen. So me and Phil are going to each take a second to talk about our first ever joint Jabroni of the week. And
Absolutely.
The Jabroni of the week is you, Adam Silver. You bald Skeletor looking fuck. You thought you could pull the wool. Thought you could pull the wool over our eyes with this bullshit giving Dallas the #1 pick. Lame ass. How dare you think we're dumb enough to sit here and not understand the collusion? Fuck you. Dallas, you give your superstar to my LA Lakers, my cash cow. LeBron's going to be leaving soon. So somebody think of the Lakers. Give them a superstar. No, loser ass mentality. How dare you think we're dumb enough to sit here and not see what you're doing? Colluding ass.
Fucking garbage. Fucking garbage. Adam Silver, you are a jackass. Fucking consider yourself a donkey, my friend, because I swear to God, I am so sick of this NBA draft lottery. LeBron leaves Cleveland. Who gets the #1 pick? Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, Anthony Davis, he's not in New Orleans anymore. Who gets the #1 pick? The New Orleans Pelicans. Oh, we need Luka Doncic on the Lakers because our ratings are shit. Oh, wait, who gets the #1 pick? The Dallas Mavericks. You think that we're dumb, NBA?
No.
You guys don't even do your fucking process on air in front of the world so that they can see it. You do that shit behind closed doors, and then you say that shit is done the right way. Okay, I you know what? Hey, I got some timeshares to sell to people that believe that shit, and let me tell you guys, it is a great deal. You want to buy it. However, I just look, man, it is so fucking lame what the NBA is doing, and I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Just like anybody who bought this shit about Caleb Williams and who put out this hit piece today about shit that happened a year and a half ago. If you're buying that, I can't believe you right now if you're a Bears fan.
So not at all. I mean, you're just saying like straight up lies. Is that what you're getting at?
I mean, whether or not they're straight up lies or not, it's beyond the point. Caleb Williams is here, everybody. He came to Chicago. For all that shit about he almost did this, he almost did that, I almost fucking shit on myself this morning, but I didn't do that. Almost, what is this? What is this? Hand shoes and hand grenades is the only time I want to hear about almosts. Otherwise, go fuck yourself. I mean, literally, nobody cares about what Caleb Williams almost did. He's here now. He's got Ben Johnson, and we're about to kick the NFL's ass. And that's the only reason this came out today, because the NFL is scared. They're scared of what the Bears are about to do.
Almost shit yourself this morning. I'm going to say it, man. The Batman couldn't get me to admit that. That is incredible work by you. I was trying to think of a good analogy, man, and I would have never come up with that one. I'm going to give you props there. That was good shit. Listen, man,
No pun intended.
Here's the thing, right? I think we have to at least consider that it could have been the case, because listen, I mean, are the Bears, was there any lies about what Bears have done to quarterbacks in the past? No. Was there any lie about Matt Eberflus being an absolute fucking jabron that had no business being the head coach of a football team? No, those are all true, right? Here's what I would like. I'm not going to tell anybody how to live their life. I'm not going to pretend I know PR or anything like that. Here's what I would like. I would like Caleb and or Carl Williams to just come out and say that shit's fake. Just say it's fake. I was happy to be a Bear from the second that the Panthers earned them the number 1 pick. You can get rid of every rumor by saying that. Now, if they don't say that, there has to be some sort of credibility to the story. There has to be. And listen, I mean, I'm not no Vikings fan, man, but Kevin O'Connell's a really good coach. And he's a really good offensive coach, and he's a really good quarterback mentor. So maybe he did say, I want to go to Minnesota. There was no way that was going to happen. And I also want to say that if this is all true, man, absolute kudos to Ryan Poles, because Ryan Poles heard Caleb say, I don't want to come here. And he said, well, too bad, pal. We have the number 1 pick. We're taking you. And listen, if at the end of the day, he convinced Caleb, as if he was ever going to go to the UFL, convinced him to come to the Bears, great work, man. I mean, if you're convincing Caleb Williams, I feel that he can convince free agents to come to the Bears, which he did this year. Guys like Drew Dahlman and Grady Jarrett and Dayo Odeyingbo. I have more confidence in Ryan Poles moving forward if this story is true. And I have confidence that Caleb is now going to really, really take off, because if he had the little help he did, had the little motivation he did with that awful coaching staff, if that's his floor, man, we're in really good shape.
Absolutely, man. You know what? And let me treat this as if it was going to be true, right? Exactly what you said. If this is true, Ryan Poles sat down with Caleb Williams, looked him in the eye, and said, you will be a star in Chicago. He said, you will walk on water if you win in Chicago. And let me tell you, yes, we have not been kind to quarterbacks, but let me tell you why I will be different to you. And he has done nothing but live up to that promise. Is Ben Johnson not the fucking head coach of the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Are the Bears not primed to go on a run? Do we not have a loaded offense? Did we not put everything around Caleb Williams that he needed in order to succeed? So, Ryan Poles, if this is true, you're the fucking man. And everything I've been saying about you, it's been. I'm proud to say that I've never been off the Ryan Poles bandwagon. I've been believing in him. I know that he hasn't always done great things on every transaction, but show me a GM in the NFL that hits 100% of the time. You can't find one. So I'm no matter whether this is true or not, even if it's true, it almost fires me up more. Caleb Williams chose to come save Chicago.
Yeah, and okay, 3,500 yards when he has no coaches. 3,500 yards with no coaching staff in the NFL?
Nothing.
Are you, as a rookie, are you serious?
I mean, he's a baller, dude.
That's insane. That's mental. That was, and here, all the other teams in the NFC North, man, all the other fan bases, I mean, they're going to laugh. right? Especially Vikings fans. And you know what? If this is all true, then they have every right to laugh and say, "Oh man, your quarterback wanted to be with us anyways." But
Yeah, but
at
who's
the
their
end of the
quarterback
day,
now?
right, he's not there now. And you know what? By the way, put up or shut up, man. Week 1, the guy you took instead because you couldn't get Caleb is
Bruh.
walking into Soldier
Shit.
Field facing Dennis Allen's defense, and he's gonna get belt to ass. So whatever,
Belt to
man.
ass.
Have your
Belt to
laugh.
ass.
Every year y'all talk about how the Bears are off-season champions. Every year y'all talk about, that's fine. Hey, we're still the off-season champs this year again. Because guess what? Did any of y'all get Joe Tooney this offseason? Any of y'all get Drew Dahlman this offseason? Any of
Bang.
y'all get Colston Loveland this offseason? No? Okay. That's great. So here's what it comes down to. Y'all can laugh now all you want. The Bears still had a better offseason than your sorry-ass front office had. The Bears are still in a prime position to be the next it team in the NFL. And the Bears, they still have this man, Caleb Williams. And y'all don't have none of that. So whatever, man. Get your laughs in right now. I couldn't care less.
Facts. Big facts. Caleb Williams is going to be a baller. He's going to kill it this year. We shelled out the money to make all this happen. Shout out to Kevin Warren for making George McCaskey open up his wallet. Decrepit asshole George. Hey, man, George, we have criticisms of you in the past, but you did the right thing now. And the Bears are going to take off. They're going to be money this year, my friends.
Yeah. I just noticed you had the money glasses on. That was great work there, Phil. I mean, as far as sunglass changes go, I don't think there's anybody going in content today that's better than my guy Phil. I mean, he's A+, #1, man.
I have to give my Aunt Sandy credit. She is the woman for this. I was gonna say she's the man, but she's been hooking me up. She's on fire, as they might say.
Oh, look at this. Wow. The dynamic duo of PCVIV and Sandy, was that
Aunt Sandy, yes, Aunt
yeah,
Sandy.
phenomenal duo, A+, great work, y'all. We appreciate the little kick in there. We like that. But man, here we are. We're talking about offseason champs. We're talking about Caleb Williams. We're talking about Ben Johnson. Man, the NFL schedule's out, dude. We know every opponent the Bears are going to face. We know where they're going to face them. We know the time. We know the place. I'm just going to start off right away. Mr. Phil, man, what are you most looking forward to this year? What really stood out? Where are your eyes going to right away?
This is easy. This is easy for me. It's the team that I took a kicker for in our live first round mock draft. I am very, very excited to play you, the Washington Commanders. We're gonna kick your ass this year.
Yep.
We are going to rectify everything about that garbage ass game that Matt Eberflus gifted you guys last season. You're welcome for our DB tipping that weak ass Hail Mary 5 yards further into the end zone because Jaden Daniels didn't have enough on it because of his little ribs. His little ribs were hurt. Ribs. I'm so worried about my ribs. All right, man. I'm just saying, I think that the Bears are going to put this team to bed this season. Ben Johnson is going to know, because he's a regular guy and he understands like normal things, and he's going to understand the assignment, which is beat the shit out of the Washington Commanders. And I want to hear all those narratives go to bed about the Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams thing. If you had eyes and you watched last year, Jaden Daniels wasn't asked to do anything other than operate within his offense. He never won a game off of his arm. Like, they're losing and they got to win, and it's just Jaden Daniels airing it out. Show me that game, because I don't think it exists. But there's Caleb Williams games that exist where we had to come back off his arm, and he did it. So, including that game, Jaden Daniels got outperformed by Caleb Williams for the entire fourth quarter, and then he got saved by a lucky Hail Mary. So, we'll see what happens. I think we're going to smoke him this year. That's what I'm most looking forward to.
Dude, I love that pick. I'm really excited for that game. I think I'm most excited for the fact that we get to ruin Green Bay's Christmas this year. I'm so excited. 2 games in 3 weeks against the Packers. We're going to take down both of those games. We're going to win both of them. And then it's going to be December 20th or whatever it's going to be, man. And you're going to be sitting there looking at the calendar saying, I don't even want to celebrate Christmas. We just got swept by the Bears. Caleb Williams is still undefeated in Green Bay because he's undefeated up there, by the way. I want to make that very clear.
Wait, what?
Phil, has he ever lost at Lambeau Field?
No, wait, no, he hasn't lost at all.
I don't know if he ever will. I'm not going to lie to you, man.
Yeah, probably
the Bears
not.
are so on the up right now. He's going to have Ben Johnson his whole career. He might never, ever lose at Lambeau Field. There's a distinct possibility.
Not once.
But, man, I love that. I think it's great. And I'm going to be honest, too. I love the fact Week 16, you get the Packers. Week 17, you play Sunday Night Football against the 49ers. In my head already, I see Week 17, you're sitting there, you get to clinch a playoff spot against San Francisco, and then you get to walk and face Detroit for the division the very next week, Week 18. I see the vision right now. I think that'll be a Sunday night flex game. Both teams going to be sitting there with 11, 12 wins. You know, winner gets the division. I'm really excited for that. I think that it's going to be a really solid setup here. But the schedule itself, you know, I think it's pretty solid. I mean, I think there's a lot of really good opportunities here for the Bears to have a good season, just because there's really no stretch of games you look at and say, wow, I mean, that's like 4 or 5 straight games where there's really just not very much of an opportunity for us to see victories in that stretch. I think every stretch of the season gets broken up fairly well, at least by teams that are very beatable. You know, yeah, do you face the Ravens and Bengals on the road back-to-back weeks? You sure do. The week before, you get the Saints at home. The week after, you get the Giants at home. If you can go 3-1, that's fine. You're going to go 2-2. If you can go 3-1, you feel like that's a winning stretch, and you play 2 really good teams on the road during that time. So to me, I think that it looked tougher before we saw it actually show up, and now that I look at it again, I go, I think we have a chance.
That's a fact, and I don't want to ignore what just happened here. One of my cameras just died, and so here I am. You know, we adjust. We know how to adjust to the game, like, you know, unlike Matt Eberflus's Chicago Bears.
I'm so happy you said it because I was thinking it.
yeah. I'm not going to ignore it. We're just going to embrace it. We're here. We're doing it. But man, I agree with you. I think that the Bears have a very fun schedule. I'm really intrigued to see what they do. And I believe it's week 9 against the Baltimore Ravens. And then I believe it's week 13 against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think that's a bookend of games. That's going to, I mean, not quite a bookend, but 2 games within 4 weeks that it's going to really show what the Chicago Bears have. It's going to prove, I think that'll show whether or not we are contenders this season. If we can win even just one of those games, I think that it's going to be very, very exciting for Bears Nation. So
no, that's a really good stretch. In the middle of those games is Cincinnati, New York, Minnesota, Pittsburgh. Those are 4 very winnable games. You know, Cincinnati, you know they're going to score, but man, I trust Dennis Allen. I think that he could put up a good defense against Joe Burrow, and I think the Bears could put up 40. I think he could put up 50 on Cincinnati. They have no talent. They have no talent on defense. So I think those are 4 winnable games. Again, if you could go 4-2 there in that stretch of 6 games, that's a pretty solid stretch. You go 5-1 because you steal one of those 2 games, dude, you're looking at a completely different season. 5 wins out of 6, any stretch of the season is good. Even for your 6 easiest games, you want to win 5 of them. So to me, I really like everything that this is looking out to be. I think that you get an early test against the Lions. You get an early revenge game against that fucking bum Matt Eberflus week 3. Week 4, you face the Raiders. There's no reason you can't go into the bye week 3-1. I mean, hey, dude, maybe Ben Johnson was really the reason that offense in Detroit was as good as it was. It could be that the offense up there takes a huge step back. You might be able to go 4-0 into the bye week. You know, I'm a trenches guy. So the talk of, oh, you guys say this every off season, I hear it. I'm a trenches guy. I think the Bears can win on both sides of the ball in the trenches, and I think that makes a huge difference. And I think they're going to be well prepared for their games. I think they have good play callers. To me, everything lines up for them to finally take the step we've thought would be coming for a while now.
Big facts, Dave. big facts. I think that the trenches are going to be the deciding factor this season, and I feel more confidence in the offensive line than I have since our Super Bowl Bears team.
Mm-hmm.
Since like we had, Roberto Garza and John Tate and Fred Miller and Olin Kreutz. I mean, since we had, I'm forgetting a guard there, and I don't want to leave him out. Ruben Brown. I apologize to you, Ruben Brown. You were important, I swear.
Come on the pod.
But yeah, come on the pod. And Jason McKee as well. Fullbacks are a glorified offensive lineman. Jason McKee, we'd love to have you on the pod.
Yes.
And I think since we had that grouping, this is probably the most solid offensive line from left tackle to right tackle. And so I'm really excited to see how they do. And I think that we have a shot, man, to make a lot of noise this year, especially if Ben Johnson is what everybody says he's going to be.
Yeah, no, it's really sick. The Bears, we're going to talk a lot about the schedule. We're going to see a lot of the OTAs coming up. We're going to see exactly what Ben Johnson can do to get these guys ready for this upcoming season and the 17 games, the 3 preseason games, and hopefully at least a few more starting in January and maybe into February. We'll see. I'm not calling nothing. I'm just saying it. You could see. I'm just saying. I'm just the messenger here.
Yeah.
But offseason is now upon also the Chicago Bulls, man, and they got kind of a gut punch the other day, didn't they, Phil?
They did. Hey, we're drafting 12th. We didn't move up. I want to address the people that said that, if Josh Giddey didn't hit his shot, we would have gotten number 1 pick. First of all, I don't think you guys understand how this kind of stuff works. If Josh Giddey doesn't hit the shot, a lot of things change, not just the Bulls draft position. It's called the sliding doors concept, the butterfly effect. If the Bulls draft position changes, so does everybody else's, and you don't know how. You can't predict it. So it's the coin flip's a little different. The coin flip, I guess you could say that, but listen, if you're like me and Dave, and we know that the NBA was going to give this damn pick to the Dallas Mavericks anyway, we're not all riled up about it. But the 12th pick is what it is. I think that there are players there that we can get that really help the cause. And we got Matas Buzelis at 11th last year. I mean, who's to say that we can't get somebody that's worthwhile at 12? Like if he was as good as he was at 11, we can find someone at 12 in a draft that people say is much deeper than last year. So,
yeah, I mean, look, it's deeper than last year. I don't know if it's deep, but it's definitely deeper than last year. Last year's draft class was atrocious. But listen, you brought up the point that I really wanted to hammer home. Because, man, if I hear one more person talk about that fucking Josh Giddey shot as the reason you don't Cooper flag, I'm going to flip. Here's my first question, okay? First question, I have a follow-up. First question is, why do you want to take away the most fun win of the season? The one game where the vibes were highest. You create this incredible comeback and this incredible moment, NBA Play of the Year, according to the actual National Basketball Association. You want to take that away? That's the one you want to just get rid of and pretend it never happened? That's ridiculous. So here's what I've done. I've given you guys a little bit of a reprieve here. Here are some games you could look back on the season and say, man, I wish we would have lost that game. How about when they were down by 20 to the Memphis Grizzlies in like the 4th game of the season and then shot like 65% from 3 to come back against a Grizzlies team that people thought might be competing for a playoff spot this year? Why don't you take away that game? We don't remember anything about that one. Why don't you take away the two upsets of the New York Knicks? They beat them twice this year. The Knicks with Cat, with Josh Hart, with Jalen Brunson. You upset them twice and you're mad about the best moment of the season that the team had? What? You beat the Wembanyama Spurs twice. What? Does anybody remember what was the best highlight from either of those 2 games, Phil? Thank you. That's the point. Take those wins away. If you lose one of those games, you're fine. How about a 4-game winning streak in the end of part of the season where 3 of those games are against playoff teams, the Magic, the Heat, and the Pacers? You win 4 straight games.
Wait, Dave, but those teams weren't trying to win.
Oh, only the Bulls were trying to win.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have a follow-up, right? Because beyond the fact that you miserable ass losers are wanting to get rid of the best moment of this season, the best moment the Bulls have had maybe since I was about this freaking tall, if you want to take away those away, that's fine. You can't say you would have had the number one pick. And you want to know why? Because y'all wanted to lose all of those games. You wouldn't have been picking in the 11 spot if you lost all of those games. You'd be sitting at 8 or 9. And then instead of pick 12, you'd have pick 10. So then nothing would have been different. And then we would have said we should have tried to win a few more basketball games if we would have gotten that spot and won 38 games instead of 32, we might have gotten the number one pick. So you guys are just miserable. Listen, I get the Bulls are not a team that makes people not miserable. They bring misery upon their fans. I'm miserable. I get it. But don't take it out on Josh Giddey, the best moment of his entire career and the best moment we've had in the last decade of Bulls basketball, for fuck's sake.
Go off, Dumb. Go off. I put on these glasses because you were on fire. You were on fucking fire for that. I loved it. I loved every single second. And I think your best point was at the end when you said that these fucking losers that are bringing this up, they wanted to lose way more than just one more game.
Yep.
They were fucking hoping that we would tank the season because they're not real sports fans. They're fucking losers who wanted to lose on purpose. Like, they were going to bank on a 14% chance that, by the way, Washington and Utah both fucking banked on, and they didn't get shit.
Nothing.
Oh, man, it fires me up. You're tanking fans, you need to get your shit together and understand what sports are really about. I can go through the list of the NBA players that are playing late into this fucking season that have gotten drafted later in the draft. Not to mention Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the teens. He didn't play late this year, but Giannis Antetokounmpo in the teens. And then Nikola Jokic in the second round. Donovan Mitchell, I think he was 8th or later. I mean, you're talking about a shitload of stars that were drafted later in the draft. But these guys are trying to tell me that in order to win, you got to be fucking god awful and hope on a 14% chance. Give me a fucking break, man. Fuck you.
And to your point, exactly, all year after the deadline, you started winning games, and all these people said you can't make the play-in because you need that spot. You can't make the play-in. I'm sorry, were the Mavericks in the play-in? Oh,
what?
I think they were. So how about this? How about you could be upset about the Josh Giddey shot only if you also tweet out and say that you were wrong. If you put your ego to the side and say you were wrong, then that's fine. You can complain about the Josh Giddey shot. They'll never do it. Never in a million years.
No, it's more about them being right than it is about the Chicago Bulls being good. And that's all it's about. And go fuck yourselves.
Dude, and now we're hearing word about Josh Giddey's potential contract. I know that if you go to the Just Another Year Chicago Bulls YouTube page, Mr. PCVIV just put out a video, actually today, May 15th, talking about Josh Giddey, man. What are you hearing about the contracts? What are people saying, and what are we doing with them, man?
People are saying that, okay, Hoops Hype reported that Josh Giddey was going to be looking for a contract similar to the Orlando Magic's Jalen Suggs, which is 5 years, $150 million. Which is $30 million annually. And oh my God, it's going to kill us. We're going to be fucked. Just kidding, we're not going to be, because it's literally less than 1/5 of the fucking salary cap. Everybody is tripping balls about this contract as if it's a max deal. It's $13 million less annually than what Zach LaVine makes. Literally. And that's not even what a max deal is now. So, like, it's absolutely insanity. Like, Josh Giddey, after we traded LaVine, after we gave him the ball in his hands, averaged 7.2, a plus 7.2 plus minus per game in his 19 games that he played after the All-Star break. So when he played, we scored more than 7 points more than the other team. But he's not worth it. A 22-year-old, 6'8" point guard is not worth it, who averaged a 20-point triple-double after we traded Zach LaVine. I'm going to be sick. I'm going to let you know, like, I'm actually going to get a Josh Giddey Australian Boomers jersey because I'm fucking sick of the shit. I'm gonna rep Josh Giddey as much as I
Dude, I'm
can.
in.
I'm shaking my camera because this is my secondary camera. But like, Jesus Christ, man. I'm so tired of this shit, man. Josh Giddey's worth every penny. I don't know how else to describe it.
Dude, I love it, man. I'm in. I don't know if you know, I was looking around. I must have dropped my checkbook somewhere because I'll write the check right now for him, whatever he wants. I mean, I'm willing
Let's
to give
go.
him. I think Josh Giddey, 22 years old, has the ability to be a playmaker, can score, hit some shots, plays a very tenacious defense. Is he the best defender in the world? No, but does he try? Does he put effort forth? He sure does. Gets rebounds, boxes people out. Man, I'll give him the max. I'll give him the max. What else are you going to use the max contract space for? What
Yeah.
are you going to give a Jordan Poole a contract for $35 million a year like Washington did?
They want to give it to fucking Kevin Durant or
Oh, in 2025?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kevin Durant is the answer.
We're just going to save it. We're going to save it and not use it on anything because then we'll lose.
Because it all transfers over to the next year, right? Then you can get. Oh, wait. No, it doesn't.
No.
The only thing that Josh Giddey can be moved for is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Nothing else. Get that man in a Bulls uniform, right, Phil?
Yeah. You're not wrong. There's very few players in the NBA that they told me we signed and traded Josh Giddey that I would be okay with, and it pains me to say this, but one of them is probably Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's only one
right
player.
there.
There's only one player I wouldn't want. You know what? I'm having trouble here. I would not trade two players at the same time.
Okay.
For Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's Josh Giddey and Matas Buzelis. One of them needs to be left behind.
Okay, that's fair.
That's my stance because I think you need them to win a championship.
Yeah, and the other thing too, you get Giannis. Veterans want to come play for a Giannis in a market like Chicago. Billy Donovan. People don't like him in Chicago. Listen, man, he's a respected coach, right? He's a respected coach. He's a Hall of Famer, right? There's no doubt about that. No matter what your take is of him, this is not a guy like Matt Eberflus we just talked about a little bit ago, where you don't want to go play for that guy, right? He's not that kind of player. Coach, to me, if you could give up. Personally, I might give up both of them as long as I get something else in return. As long as there's another piece I'm getting back. Like if you can get another shooter as well, a 2-for-2 deal, I think so. But to me, Giannis, he keeps making these. I see him flirting. I'm taking notes.
Chicago. He does love Chicago.
Ladies, I'm taking notes. I'm be flirting like Giannis flirts with Chicago soon. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I'm sorry if you got your eyes on somebody and I'm there. So sorry to say that's not going to look good for you, but Giannis, really solid stuff there. If you can get him, I think you have to get him. I don't think there's any barrier to doing that. We're going to hear about it a lot, and we're going to hear about Jokic as well now that Mike Malone is gone. They're playing Game 6 tonight as we record. We'll put this video up later on, so you'll know the result of that game. But they very well may have been eliminated. Mike Malone's gone, his guy. Might be some changes in Denver. There's still a path to gain a superstar in Chicago, even if the NBA is going to cheat the draft lottery and not in the Bulls' favor for some reason. We're like the number 3 market in the country, Adam Silver. What's wrong with you?
He's tripping. I mean, maybe that's his belief in AK. Just kidding. I just wanted to trigger some people real quick. But like I still think that Matas Buzelis can become a star. I still think he can become a superstar. I understand if I'm taking some leaps in judgment and projection in order to get there, but he does have the measurables. He does have the determination. He does have the coachability. So I think he can get there. I want to state this. He was projected to be number 1 in the draft last year, like a couple of years before the draft actually came, and it was his time in the G League that dropped him lower. But then he came back and answered the questions in his rookie year that people had for him coming out of the G League. So I don't think that the book is closed on the Bulls not getting a superstar. I do think if we kept the team that we have now, that there's a chance that they could contend in a few years. However, that being said, I I think that if I was going to trade a star, it would be Kobe White.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for another star, whether that's Giannis. I would trade a shitload of draft capital and Kobe for Giannis. Because then if you put Giannis with Giddy and Matas, I'm talking championship within 3 years.
Within 3 years.
Within 3 years. I'm talking chip. But I don't know if you can get Giannis without including one of those guys, or maybe both. So it's just tough. If they had to take all three, though, how are we not Milwaukee South if they take Kobe, Giddy, and Matas? Are we any better than Milwaukee is now?
No, I would say absolutely not. I would say far from it. There's no Damian Lillard. You don't have a Brook Lopez. I mean, you don't have anybody if you do that.
No, that's why you have to keep someone. And that's why I understand, I guess Kobe and Giannis, I could see the vision, but like I'd much rather have one of the other guys with Giannis. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm totally with you. You can't just get rid of everything for Giannis. Not at this point in his career anyways. I think 5 years ago you could have put Giannis with anybody.
Yes.
Not this Giannis. No. I mean, listen, I know Dame definitely. Here's the thing, right? First of all, Milwaukee put the best player they've ever had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I did forget about Kareem for a second. That's why I said the best they ever had. I took that back very quickly. I learned.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you for that. Whew, that was tough. The best player since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and paired him with Dr. Rivers, who is one of the worst coaches in the history of the NBA. He is an absolutely useless coach. You could put anybody on those teams. I mean, Boston won one title because they had 3 of the top 10 players in basketball. They had one of the best up-and-coming point guards in basketball and one of the deepest benches we've seen in a very long time, because you took everyone who was starting and moved them down 5 spots. So you have your 25-win team starters are now all of a sudden your bench guys. And they won one title with that. And even that was, they still struggled at times. And then they almost lost to the Bulls the next season.
Yo, but that was special though. And also, it was nice. I'll give Boston a little credit. They did not have KG in that series.
That's fair. That's super fair. That's fine. But also, I think that team was still good enough to win a second championship throughout that time of the Big Three. I mean, Doc Rivers has blown more 3-1 leads than any franchise in NBA history, or something like that. I mean,
Doc Rivers is
4 times.
He's not a good coach.
He's awful. So you take Giannis. I think if you put Billy Donovan as opposed to Doc Rivers, you automatically get better.
You're gonna ruffle some feathers with that one, man.
That's ruffling feathers. Doc Rivers is a joke. He's a clown. It's a hot take to say Billy Donovan's better than Doc Rivers.
I think it is for a lot of people, but I'm not. I think I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't even know if there's anything to agree with. I think it's a fact. I would love to hear anybody defend anything Doc Rivers does. I think that Billy Donovan's better at everything. I don't think there's anything Doc Rivers does better than Billy Donovan. I don't think there's anything. He is awful. He is atrocious. He is the Kwame Brown of NBA head coaches.
He says the Kwame Brown. I love it, dude. That's good shit.
All hype, nothing of substance. He should have won. The talent he's coached for the past 15 years. He should have 3 or 4 titles. He has 1, and he got lucky getting it because he just so happened to be the first team to put a big 3 out there. But anyways, I won't keep banging on the Doc Rivers drum. The guy's not worth any more of our time anyways.
Well done.
But if you give Billy Donovan to Giannis, I think Giannis's game improves. I think that players want to come here. I think there's still a path, but ultimately no. And you need to keep one of Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis, or Kobe White. You have to have a second option. You have to have somebody else. And then you got to really look at free agents and figure out who's going to be there. Again, we talked about the draft. Phil, I don't know if you've dived into any of the draft prospects yet. I don't want to put you on the spot if you haven't really looked into it. Any names you've even considered looking into yet or anything like that?
Honestly, I would be very interested in trading up for Kaman Mulak from Duke. I think 7'2", athletic, big, a lot of potential on both ends, and he's already great on the defensive end. I think he comes in, and he's a defensive stalwart for you. And then you can also mold him on offense, especially if you have a team with Josh Giddey, Kobe White, and Matas Buzelis. You can bring him along because he wouldn't have to be like a big piece for you offensively off the bat. I really like him. I think that he's a long-term rim protector, and he can develop that post game. He has length. He's big. I think he's everything that you want on this Bulls team, and also he can get out on the break, which I think is very important for this Bulls team. I also really like, this might ruffle feathers, but Trey Johnson. I think that he is a great scorer. He's probably, in my opinion, the best scorer in the draft. I think that you could draft him. You might have to move up for him, but if he fell to 12, you take him and you trade Kobe White for a center. Because I think Trey Johnson could replace him. And because look, I know I'm gonna maybe piss some people off when it comes to the Bulls, but Kobe White, all he does is score, man. All he does is score. And then
not wrong.
He also has come up short in every big moment that we've needed him to come up big in when it mattered. When we're talking about the play-in, like the best player in that play-in game against the Heat was Josh Giddey. It wasn't Kobe White. And a lot of people just like look at the scoring average and they're like, "Oh yeah, it was all Kobe White." Like, no, man, no, it wasn't. And he's not. He had like 8 turnovers in that game against Miami. So I'm not opposed to taking a guy like Trey Johnson and then trading Kobe White to get that rim protector, whether it's like Mark Williams or someone else. I know that he's, yeah, I mean, I really like Mark Williams. I'm a big fan of Mark Williams, but you know, we'll see what happens. But I like those two off the bat. There's some other guys that really intrigue me, but I have to look more into them, which is like Derek Queen, Fleming, Sorber, like Asa Newell. Those guys all intrigue me. I have to look into them more. But, you know, going forward, that's who I'm looking at.
Yeah, and I've got a few names that I really like. I'd really interested to see if Colin Murray Boyles falls to 12. I think he's a good defender. I think you plug him in right away as he develops the other things. And the Bulls have shown they're okay doing that. They're okay taking a little bit of a project. Now, Billy Donovan doesn't always go to play those minutes that we feel like he should for those young guys. I know that you've complained about that in the past, and you're probably rightfully so in doing that. Again, I think Billy Donovan's being asked to win with a roster that wasn't really ready to win. But you know, if you're willing to let him develop his shot, he could plug him in as a defender right away. You mentioned Derek Queen. I would love that size. He's a really good player. I also like Carter Bryant out of Arizona. Kind of a 3-4 guy. He could kind of take over your Patrick Williams starting role because Patrick Williams deserves to be playing in Lithuania. So Carter Bryant, to me, you know, I think that he can really develop his game with the Bulls and has the guys to help to do that. But he's a plug and play guy as well, a guy you could put on the floor right now as he develops the rest of his skills. You love the Lithuania comment, bro. he can play for Maccabi Tel Aviv next week for all I care, man.
Send Patrick Williams to Egypt.
Get him out of here. Bye-bye. After that, man, you know, I'm opposed to going with the stash players this high. You know, there's a few European players, you know, and really one of the things when Karnisovas came over, they were like, oh, he's gonna get his European guys. And the first draft, do you remember they drafted Marko Simonovic, and everyone was like, we got our Jokic, we got our guy, and he was awful in the Windy City Bulls. He couldn't even cut it at Hoffman Estates, much less in Chicago.
To be fair, a lot of people did feel that way. Like that was like nationally, like a lot of people were high on Simonovic, and it didn't work out.
Oh no, it was atrocious. It was terrible. But yeah, I think the 12 is a good spot. I would like for them to consider moving up. I think that you have options to move up this year. It depends how high you want to go, but I mean, you know, why not go up for one of the Rutgers guys? If some teams like, we're not super high on them, move one of your pieces, move a future pick if you think that these guys are going to change your roster. VJ Edgecombe out of Baylor, he's another guy that people really, really like. But also, I think that next year has a few really interesting pieces as well. I'm really excited to see what Andrei Stojakovic's draft profile is going to look like after a year at Illinois with Brad Underwood. I think that they are developing players really well out in Champaign-Urbana, and I love Stojakovic. I don't know if I still have it. I do own, or I used to own at least, a Peja Stojakovic Indiana Pacers jersey because of how much I loved him.
Peja's so good.
He was so good. He was my guy.
He was so good.
Like,
he was an
2K5.
asshole. He's an asshole in 2K. Like my buddy Jake, and this is the second time I'm shouting him out. Shout out Jake, because he used to lift 40 fucking threes with him in every NBA game that we used to play against each other. He would just pass the ball to Stojakovic and lift threes. And that was it. Over and over. Over and over. Because back then, you didn't have that release. And yeah, he used to kill me with that shit, man.
I love it. I support it, man. Anything Peja Stojakovic, I'm in. He's my guy. But it's going to be a very interesting offseason for the Bulls. There's a lot of different paths you can go down. Phil is going to be covering a lot of that over on Just Another Year Chicago Bulls. So make sure to give him a follow over there on Twitter and YouTube as he goes about his day-to-day, putting out these incredible videos. But we got one more, every week we like to do one thing, man. We got to do our Jabroni of the week, which we did at the top of the show, and we got to do our power rankings. And this week, what has taken the Chicago sports world by storm more than the Pope? The Pope. The Pope is from Chicago. He is from the South Side. He is a White Sox fan. Can't all be perfect, right? Can't all be perfect. He should have been a Cubs fan. That's fine. Whatever. Hey,
whatever, dude.
No big deal. But we thought we'd have a little bit of fun since Pope Leo XIV took over from the Chi. We are going to be naming our top 5 Chicago athletes that we think could become the Pope of, the Catholic Church in general. And here's the guidelines. Here's what we built the list on. What are the specifications you're looking for? There is none. You could take this however you want. So me and Phil may have chosen 5 very different people for 5 very different reasons. But I'd love to hear number 5 on your list, Mr. Phil. The number 5 candidate for the papacy of the Catholic Church from Chicago is
Derrick Rose.
Wow, okay.
Listen, I didn't rank these guys in any particular order. These are just 5 guys. I'll preface with that. But Derrick Rose, he wished once upon a time that he'd be able to walk his son down the graduation aisle. And you know what? As the Pope, he'll get God to let him do that. And so I think that Derrick Rose, maybe he can even ask God, hey, rewind time. Don't let me hurt my fucking knee. And so, I'm into that. I love that as a Bulls fan. Let's rewrite history. I would like my fucking current remembrance of the Bulls in the last 10 years to be different. So, Derrick Rose, you are 5 on my list.
I love it. I did not consider Derrick Rose, but it's actually very fitting you put Derrick Rose at your 5. I did rank mine. My number 5 is Mr. Joakim Noah, his best friend. Dude, Joakim Noah. Dude, all Joakim Noah wants is everyone to love each other and have a good time. He's got the hair. He's got the hair. Dude, he just has the vibe of it, man. Just wants everyone to love each other. A guy who works hard for everybody, does good work in the community, man. To me, he does a lot. And also, I think one of the pillars of the papacy is hating Cleveland, and nobody hates Cleveland more than Joakim Noah. So to me, it's a perfect fit. I'll go over to you for your number 4 spot.
All right, yeah, number 4, we're going to go with Matt Eberflus, because this man is going to be wishing for anything else other than the history that he had. He's wishing that he wasn't such a shitty head coach. He's wishing he could rewrite the Washington endgame, the Detroit endgame. Matt Eberflus wishes that he had a tie with God and that he could rewrite history. So I'm going to go with him, number 4.
Choosing the actual honest antichrist for this position is insane, but I do love it. That he doesn't deserve to be leader of anything. So that's I'll go with it. My number 4, I'm going to go with a former White Sox player. I'm going with Joe Creedy just because his last name kind of looks like Creed. And that's a religious word. And also they're a religious band. So I'm going with Joe Creedy.
Okay. I love it.
That was for the dry humor fans out there. Number 3, Phil. Give it to me, number 3, man.
Number 3, I'm going to go with Caleb Williams because duh Pope. Nobody understands the assignment more than Caleb Williams. And also, he is our Lord and Savior in Chicago Bears fandom. So I'm going to go with Caleb Williams. Your jersey in the background, number 3.
I love it. My number 3 spot here is I'm going with Big Mike, man. I'm going Michael Jordan here. He just has so much aura. I think anybody would listen to him. He's so cool.
God definitely listens to him.
Dude, yeah. Catholics wear sneakers too. And listen, okay, I want to be clear that Phil made that joke in a text message earlier this week. I got to give him credit. I do like saying that everyone wears sneakers to make fun of Michael Jordan. So I will say that my friends can back me up that I do say that. But Phil did make that joke. That's why it's on the top of my mind here. So Phil, that was all credit to you on that one. But can you imagine what his outfits would look like as the Pope?
He'd be stunned.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure
like his daddy.
Shout out Lil Wayne, man. Number 2, Mr. Phil. Where are we going here?
All right. Number 2. We're going to go with, I'm going to call it back. I'm going to call it back to, you hit it on the White Sox. We're going to go with Scott Podsednik because his prayers were answered when he hit that home run in the World Series to bring us that championship. So I'm going to go with Scott Podsednik because that man clearly has a tie with God.
Yeah. No, it's good stuff, man. My number 2 is I'm going with the best dadgum captain and leader I've ever seen in this godforsaken town. Give me Jonathan Taves at number 2, man. If I want somebody leading anything, I would choose Jonathan Taves to do it. That man could lead.
Not Patrick Kane.
That man, well.
I'm just kidding.
Let's ask. I think when I think of the Pope, I think of somebody who's nice to cab drivers. I think of somebody who is a leader, and so Jonathan Taves to me definitely takes that spot.
Absolutely.
Number 1, man. Who's in your number 1 spot? I know you said it's not ranked, but I'm considering this your number 1.
Yeah, no, I maybe the rest of them weren't ranked, but this one is, and it's going to be Jay Cutler.
Oh, okay.
Smoking Jay. Because God damn it, how awesome would it be to see him like puffing on a cigarette
at the Vatican?
Right. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. I'm gonna say it, man. I thought we were gonna have the same number 1. We don't. Dude, I thought this one was such a layup for us, Phil. I don't want to say I'm disappointed in you, but I'm kind of disappointed in you in this one.
Okay. What is it?
The number 1 option is very clearly CM Punk.
CM Punk?
The cult of personality? Oh my, you've seen him look like Jesus. I mean, you see him come out with the hair and the beard, the cult of personality. He's been a leader of a religion in the past. My goodness. I mean, CM Punk just flies off the page to me. Yeah,
you're right. I'm sorry. I failed here. I was thinking of CM Punk too, literally, but yes, the straight edge society, like he literally said he was going for straight edge Jesus. So,
and he did pretty well.
Yeah, I love it. CM Punk, you're my 1B.
Yeah, come on the pod.
Yeah, come on the pod. Wait, honorable mention, Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah.
I love that. He has ties to you in your hometown, not to Chicago. But if we were doing Quad Cities athletes,
he loves the Bears.
He does love the Bears. Fine, 1B Seth Rollins for me.
Chicago Bears selection of all time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. We held the bear claw the whole time.
There's our connection there. Is that he loves Chicago, and it's not his fault. He lives in Iowa.
Yeah. I mean, I would never choose to live in Iowa myself. I would move. But hey, not everyone, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Phil.
Yeah.
Mr. Phil, where can the people find you at, man?
The people can find me at at JAYC Phil, or you can find me at JAY Shy _ Bulls, or you can find me at Profane Pod, hanging out with Davey. I won't make the joke that I always make this time. But Davey's awesome, and we do our best to bring entertainment to people on that account. But yes, for all things Chicago sports, especially Bulls, for the J Shy Bulls, I will be bringing you everything I can in all of my effort.
Man, good stuff. Yeah, give him a follow, dude. His YouTube stuff is really taking off right now. That Just Another Year Chicago Bulls page is going great. Is there anything else related to Just Another Year that people might be able to find us on soon? Maybe both of us?
Ooh, I like it. Nice lead in, Davey. Nice lead in. Well, I don't want to say an at because Just Another Year Pro Wrestling, everybody.
Hey.
It's going to be awesome. Me and Davey are going to be front manning this thing, and then we'll also have Rashab, aka Windy City Productions, friend of the show. He's been on the show like 4 times. I think he's actually our all-time leader in appearances. Yeah, and then also my dad, PCV the Third. We're going to be doing live streams for every pay-per-view, and then me and Davey will be bringing you episodes daily coming soon. And we're really close to bringing this out. It's going to be awesome. If you're a pro wrestling fan, you definitely want to watch out for this. It's going to be electric, and that much I can promise you.
I can't wait, man. Such good stuff. We're excited to get in touch with the IWC, the Internet Wrestling community, like we do with the Chicago sports scene right now. You could find me at DavyDots17 on Twitter. You could find me at Profane Pod, of course, with Mr. Phil hanging out. Phil puts out good stuff on that page. See, I stole your thunder this time.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
We are at Profane Pod. We are Professionally Profane Podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, and on Facebook. Give us a follow there. I'm not really active on there. I don't go on Facebook ever. It's, you have a better chance of finding me on MySpace nowadays than Facebook. I'll just say it.
On MySpace?
On MySpace. Or what was the Google Plus? Was that the failed Google social media platform? Well, you can find me there before you find me on Facebook again. But that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Professionally Profane Podcast. For Pimp Daddy P, PCVIV, Phil Charles VanDerHeyden IV, I am Dave Ridderhoff, and we will catch you all on the next one.